Yo, yo,
Oh,
yo.
oh,
Familiar voice.
man, it's been a
Familiar
minute.
voice.
Oh man,
Those of y'all joining us live, as you can see, that dynamic duo is back.
indeed.
Kobe and Shaq back in the finals.
Yes, Scotty and Mike, um,
Oh,
LeBron and
oh
D
no.
Wade, or
No.
Anthony Davis. He really can just be by himself. Because he's LeBron. But zing, had to get the LeBron in there.
I, it had to be right off the bat, too.
Right off the bat. Let me
I
just
knew.
get it out, bro. Let me just get it out.
Wow. It wouldn't be a podcast, would you be, without bringing up LeBron, of course.
Right.
Anyway, welcome everybody to episode 25 of Bear Down Breakdown. Man, I wish we could have something cooler to talk about.
Right. So
Jesus.
fortunate.
B had to come back at the worst time
I know, right?
or the best time, depending on, I guess it's great content, but man, rough time to be a Bears fan, to say the least.
It definitely is.
And of course, the podcast that you jump on, your sister decides to watch and is throwing all kinds of Packers hoopla in the comments.
Already. Oh my God.
Already. Do you see what you bring with you, Bruce? Come on.
You know what? that unnecessary baggage, unfortunately, just follows me wherever I go. It's sad.
It is nice to have you back, though, bro.
Man, happy to be back, bro.
We've missed you. It's not the same without you. But yeah, we have a lot to discuss. I have not heard your thoughts yet on this season at all. The last time we recorded a podcast was March 14th.
Nothing was happening in March.
And do you know the title of that episode?
What was it?
It's So Far So Good, Ryan Poles.
Oh. Why did we do that? Why did we do that to ourselves, man? Oh my God.
Because we're Bears fans. That's why.
Yeah.
We're Bears fans. Anyway,
man.
Like I said, we have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to break down. Don't know how much of this game, if you can even call it a game, we'll be talking about. Because obviously, I know I want to hear Bruce's thoughts of this entire Bears organization as a whole.
Yeah.
So far this season, it's only week 3, but it feels like week 19.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been, it's exhausting. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
But anyway, before we get any Bears thoughts out there, I have to ask you, B, because it's been since March. How you doing, bro?
Hey man, I'm good, bro. I missed this. Shout out to Dom, man. Dom was holding it down. You know what I'm saying? He was doing his thing. A great addition to the podcast. I can't wait till all three of us are on and sharing our thoughts about this team. But I missed this. Like, I needed an outlet. Like I was telling you before the show, I just needed an outlet to you know what I'm saying, just to get everything out. I was telling you, like, my girl, she'll text me and just be like, the Bears suck. And I'm just like, okay, I know they do. Give me some more. Give me some stats. Like, back that up. Back that claim up that they suck.
I was about to say, you what? You back what up? What you talking about?
Right. Give me some numbers or something. But yeah, man, it's been I've missed this. We always talk about how this is like our outlet. You know what I'm saying? So it's just good to be back sharing the mics with you, and I'm excited for us because we've been in the trenches with this one, man. This podcast. Remember when we first started it, the genesis of it, and just to see it progress, and we go through life, and still to just come back and still have that flow and that vibe. It's a blessing within itself. So I've been great. Life's been great. Working, being a dad. My son's in football right now, doing his thing. Getting older. Like, I had a moment yesterday where I realized I'll be 40 next February, and I'm happy to say that because
Big
you know
4-0. That's a
four
big one.
zero, bro. Yeah, because first of all, I don't look it, so I'm happy about that.
You
I
look
don't
older?
I don't look it until my beard starts to grow in and the gray kicks in. When the gray
Mm.
really shows, when the beard comes, that's when I look 40. But you know, some cats would be like, nah, OG, you look like you 34, 35. I could take that. But the
Until you
40
take your hat off.
and so you don't want to see what's happening with this right now. You don't want to see it. Hence
And
why I got the
I'm
hat on.
I'm
Um,
bald too, so I can't even
yeah,
talk.
yeah, but I had a moment yesterday. My son had a football game. I come home and I just wanted to relax for like 15 minutes, right? Just wanted to sit down, just like take a deep breath.
Hmm.
Sunday night football about to come on. And I did one of these numbers. I got up because I wanted to get a drink. So I got up and I slapped my knees and I said, up, and I got up. I said, and then the tripped out part about it is I just got up to get a glass of milk. You would have thought I was trying to get like a beer or a drink. No, I got up to get some milk, but I slapped my knees and said, "Whoop!" and that I came back. I said, "Oof, ooh, B, man, what was that? What was that?" So yeah, man, just the reality of 40 is hitting me, but nah, man, I'm happy. I'm happy to be back on the mics, bro, and yeah, let's just talk about these Bears. But first, bro, how are you doing? How are you doing?
Man, I'm great. I mean, a lot's been going on with me too. My son just now started school,
Mm,
kindergarten.
mm,
Talked about it on the last episode.
yeah.
It's like you get a parental. Um, what did I call it? What word did I use? It's like a promotion, almost like
Hmm.
in parental. Being a parent. It's like a
Okay.
parent promotion when your kid
I
goes to
feel
school
you.
because it's like a whole different level of when your kid is home all day, every day, and now you
Yeah.
gotta worry about them going somewhere and how they're interacting with their teachers and with the students, and like you just hope that you did a decent job parenting so that they
Hmm.
can, flow through life because that's when their life starts. You know what I mean? Is when they
Facts.
when they go to
Facts.
school. Like
Yeah.
that's all your parenting is shown, either what
Hmm.
the good and the bad,
True.
because we all traumatize our kids in some
All
way or
right.
another. That's
That's
just
true.
the unfortunate reality of parenting.
Yeah.
um
Yep.
but yeah, I'm going through that right now. Well, me and my wife are going through that
Right.
right now. So
Shout out to Becca
uh shout
holding
out
it
to
down.
shout out to my lovely wife. And
Yes.
yeah, it's been interesting. My kid loves school, and that's a great thing. He's
Yeah.
always excited about going. He hates the weekend. Like,
Because it's no school.
right.
Yeah.
He's at that point. He's in kindergarten. So
Yeah. Yeah.
he's coloring, he's tracing
Right.
lines. He's
Right. Kicking it
so
with other little kids and stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he's loving it right now. And I'm enjoying that because
Right.
once he starts hating school and starts, like, trying to
Yeah.
fake sick and like using my wife's hair dryer on his
Hmm.
forehead to put up
Hmm.
the temperature, and
Hmm.
trying to make some fake throw up with some oatmeal, doing all that, I'm not looking
Yeah.
forward to that. So,
Yeah. I'm there. I'm at that point.
oh, you're at that point.
Jay's in sixth grade right now. So yeah,
Gotcha.
he's at that point where he's a brilliant student, straight A's, all that other stuff. But he can't stay in school. I said, man, what's your favorite subject? Lunch. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's your favorite subject. You like lunch. Okay, well, I don't. But yeah, so he's at he's at that point.
That was my favorite subject too. I can't
Yeah,
even lie.
exactly, man. So I definitely get it. I definitely get it,
Yeah.
bro. Let me ask you a question before we dive into this
We got a lot to catch up on,
this
B.
team for
So
sure.
it's okay.
When we started the show, was 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 your oldest son, was he born? Was Zeki born when we first
Zeke.
started? Zeke, yeah, was he born when we first started the show?
Yes, he
Okay,
was.
but
He
he's like,
was.
I want to say he was a baby though, right?
Yeah, he was.
Okay,
He just turned 1 when we started the
wow,
show. Yeah. Yeah, we've
wow,
been doing this for 5 years.
sheesh,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
that's what's
It's
up, man.
crazy because I was literally just looking at our old podcast pictures, like
Yeah.
literally an hour before we jumped on to record.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to post something, the fact that we were back, kind of make it a big deal. But
Mhm.
yeah, bro, he was a little baby,
That's
tiny,
crazy.
insane, right?
That's crazy.
Now he's in kindergarten.
Yeah. That's crazy,
Absolutely
man.
crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a text from just a heads up. I got a text from Dom, and he just asked me, "Is it too late to jump in?" So we might have a three-headed monster
Let's go.
talking
Let's
about
do it.
this trash organization.
Yeah. Oh my God, man.
Oh
Never have I seen so much drama with a 0-3 team.
man,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's interesting. But yeah, let's jump into it. Might as
Let's
well.
do it. Yeah.
Chicago Bears. So they are now 0-3. Just got ass whooping by the
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs. Lost 41-0 or 41-10. I wish it was 41-0 because maybe Matt Eberflus will be fired by now. 41-10, and just so much.
Yeah.
So much has happened.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
in that week. I mean, me and Dom didn't get a chance to jump on the mics to talk about it either before this past week's game, but just so much drama going on with Alan Williams resigning.
Mm-hmm.
Our left tackle is now on IR. Don't know how long he's going to be gone. Justin Fields, sticking up for himself in the press conference, and the controversy that came with his coaching. Why are you so robotic? Oh, coaching.
Right.
Those comments, all of that in the same week that you're trying to prepare for the defending Super Bowl champion. So, I mean, I tweeted it. I said, look, this team can't play well against bad teams when they have 9 months to prepare for them and no distractions.
Mm-hmm.
What did y'all expect?
Right. Right.
All of those distractions, the injuries, they only had a week, and you're going up against the defending Super Bowl champs on the road. Like,
yeah,
this was bound to happen. But anyway, yeah, they got blown out. But outside of the game itself, B, I just want to get your thoughts on where the Bears are at right now. 2023, week 4 coming up.
Yeah.
0-3. You have the floor.
I tweeted this yesterday at Sir King Bruce on Twitter. Well, what is it called? X now. Yo,
no, we don't call it X.
Oh, we still call it Twitter.
We still call it Twitter,
bro. We have, this show has lasted where we actually had a social media change where it went from Twitter to now X. Like, okay, look at us.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Yeah,
making
look
history,
at us. Right?
But on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, at Sir King Bruce, I tweeted this yesterday, and it was joking, but it was a for real question where it's like, can you rebuild in the middle of a rebuild?
That was funny.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, we are at a point where we are already talking about firing the coach, getting rid of the GM, getting rid of the offensive coordinator, and getting rid of our quarterback. Like, it's all just a big mess. And it's interesting because, before the Packers game, you and Dom, you guys had an incredible show leading up to the Packers game, and you hit me up. You said, B, let me get your predictions on the Packers game. And here I go drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm like, yo, that's a dub, man. I gave you some score where we like the Bears win, and then boom, the game happened, and it just didn't end up that way. Little did I know that was just the beginning of the downfall for this team. But it's interesting, right? Because I go back to the off season, and you just started to, especially when Tevin Jenkins, when he got injured, I was just like, okay. All right. Maybe we got some depth behind him, right? Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about that. But then you started to see little things happen with this team. And then like we big picture and we like, well, hold on, this is the Chicago Bears, right? What if we had what enjoyment have we experienced? It was too much good that was happening in the off season where we was just like, well, we had too much optimism. We was like, okay, maybe they can get 8 wins. Maybe we even heard Justin Fields MVP talk. Ooh, wait a minute. That's too good. It was too much good happening within this organization. The moves that Ryan Poles was making. I don't fault him for the moves that he made. The Edmonds and TJ Edwards and getting DJ Moore and trading the first round pick. I don't fault those moves. Those were legit football moves. Unfortunately, it just hasn't panned out because as you and I have stated over the years, it all begins with your quarterback. When your quarterback when he's going, the entire team is going. Guys, let's not this Kansas City team yesterday, they're great because of Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. They don't I'm watching them yesterday and I'm just like, they're great because of Patrick Mahomes, offensively and defensively. The defense feeds off Patrick Mahomes. When you have a great quarterback, everything else falls into place. You look at places like Baltimore, you look at places like I mean, just San Diego, even though they're 1-2 right now, they have that quarterback in place. When you have a great quarterback, everything else just seems like, okay, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's unfortunate. We look at the Bears and we can place blame on everybody. Everybody has a hand on why Justin Fields is the way Justin Fields is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Offense, defense, coaching, everybody has a hand on it. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Justin Fields right now is a shell of himself. This isn't last year. I mean, I didn't even see this last year. He had more confidence last year than he does this year. He just doesn't know what to do. He tried to come out and in his way be that leader and saying the things that he said yesterday, but they still didn't put him in a position to be successful. The wide receivers in that game yesterday didn't help him. Drop passes. You didn't. It was you got to help your quarterback out. They didn't do anything. The defense, they've been trash all year. They're not doing anything to help Justin Fields. Everything centers around your quarterback. And it's unfortunate that this team as a whole, from top to bottom, hasn't done have they put pieces in place? Yeah, but are they have they done enough to really take Justin Fields to that next level? No, they haven't. That defense is terrible. That defense is trash. That offensive line is trash. And we could talk about the injuries. Yeah, Braxton Jones, our guy Jenkins in the beginning. Nate Jones, he's had his off the field issues. Like Cody Whitehair, he was supposed to be your starting center. Now he had to move. So you got Patrick coming in, and we should have never just and it's just a lot. It's a lot of things that's happening where it's just like it's not being productive where Justin Fields can succeed. Yeah. And then he has a lot to do with that. He has a lot to do with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not doing what he needs to do in the pocket. He's not confident in his reads. Like, and it's just like, are they worse than last year? That's the thing that I'm just like, because this year was supposed to be like a progress year. We were supposed to see some progression. We were supposed to see some steps moving forward. Not saying that we was going to be a playoff team or or a Super Bowl champion. We just wanted to see some progress. Maybe 7 wins, 8 wins. And that's like, okay, then we can go into the next, into the offseason with the draft picks from Carolina. Thank God Carolina is trash, because that's looking like a top 5 pick who we don't know, But it's just like we're at this point with this organization where it's like, are we cursed? Are we really cursed as an organization? Like, what is it? Is it as simple as changing ownership? because the ownership is not going to change. The McCaskies has come out. They've come out and said this is going to be a family legacy. Like, we are building for the next generation of McCaskies to come and take the reins. So the thought of selling the team, guys, let's just throw that out the window. That's never happening. That's never happening. Why would you do that? Put yourself in the McCaskey's position and the billions of dollars that you're making as a family. Are you really going to? No, come on, stop it. From a business perspective, no, you're not going to do that. So let's stop with let's sell the team. That's never going to happen. So where do we start? This team has lost, going back to last year now, 13 in a row. Losing can become the norm. And unfortunately, that's where this team is at. Do they solve it this Sunday by playing Denver, who gave up 70 points to Miami? I don't know. But this team is we just don't know. We just don't know. Look at Don DC coming in. What up, bro?
What up, player?
With the Cubs hat.
Yeah, man.
The Cubs hat on.
Hey,
what's good, man?
I'm doing good. Well,
good,
I'm not doing good, but it's good to see you guys.
None of us are. But yeah, man, like I was saying, you just don't know. And I tweeted yesterday, I said, I'm just numb. I was so numb to that loss yesterday where it didn't like move me at all. It just didn't. I was just like, oh, well, we were down 34-0 at halftime. So yeah, that game was over before it even started. So yeah, man, I don't even know if I just gave you a clear answer about this organization.
No,
I just threw out some stuff that everybody has already talked about. So I don't know, man. I really can't tell you.
Yeah, I think apathy is where a lot of Bears fans are right now. At least that's where I'm at. I'm so apathetic. And I feel like that's the worst place to be as a fan. Like, you look at Chicago White Sox fans. I mean, we're the same position as them. Like, they have absolutely no faith in. Like, I'm at the point now where they could fire Eberflus. They could get rid of Justin. They could draft Caleb. They can go and hire a offensive mind head coach. No matter how good his offense was, wherever the hell he's at right now, I have zero faith.
None whatsoever.
Zero. They could fire Ryan Poles. They can bring in someone else. I have zero faith.
Until they do things differently than they've done it before. I mean, because I'm in favor of, if it's going to get better, it has to be ripped out root and stem. I think it's a little early for that, but I wouldn't be upset by it. But I think, like Bruce kind of alluded to, losing becomes infectious. It's ingrained now in the locker room. It's something that this takes multiple years to recover from until there is a complete turnover, new soil has been plotted, and then new grass starts to grow. That's the only way. And usually that happens after a massive forest fire. Then everything burns down and new grass grows through it. That's the only way, unless somehow, some way, they turn it around and they get behind Flus. But the problem is they seem like they've completely tuned him out 3 weeks in.
Yep.
It's just like they're not listening to him. His rah-rah old dusty ass, pardon my French, they're not hearing it.
Yeah.
And guys are finger pointing. You're not hearing good answers from the podium. You're hearing too many answers, the wrong answers. I want them to, I heard Bragg say it today, be better at saying nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying too much. Brisker talks too much. Hell, Justin talks too much now.
Started on Brisker.
And then Flus comes in with like the standard, company line, business as usual. We had a good week of practice all over again. Like, it's Trestman, Nagy, Flus, but again, like Bruce said, the constant is ownership, and they keep doing it the same way, expecting different results. It's the definition of insanity.
Shout out to Waddle and Sylvie, right? And Waddle, Sylvie, he points out something within this organization where they do things ass backwards, where they will hire a coach first, then they'll get the GM, or they'll get a GM. You know, it's so backwards where they just don't allow the GM to come in and let him establish who he wants. Like they got the quarterback first, and then they fired the people who got the quarterback, and then they bring in a new reign of a coach. And it's just so, this organization just does things so backwards. And so our expectation is like, it's just anything new, right? We get excited. We get excited because of the trash that we've experienced. You know what I'm saying? It's like that old toy that you have, right? You got that old toy, it just gets all worn out. And so when you get the new toy, you like, oh, but then you realize like, okay, this new car does the same thing that my old car did, but it's just a new car. You know, so that's how I feel about this organization, where it's this, and Dom just pointed out, it's the same thing, and they do things so backwards. And so here we are in the same position, and Eberflus was just hired last year.
Yeah,
he was just hired last year to come and take over this team, and polls they would come, and it's just, and we're back in the same place. So it's beyond frustrating.
Yeah, I literally tweeted it out yesterday, and their process was to bring in Bill Polian, Soup Campbell, two guys who don't even work for this organization anymore. Bill Polian is 105.
Yeah. Yep.
Has this outdated view of what 2023 football or 2022 football is supposed to look like. And so you bring him in because George McCaskey has absolutely no idea what the hell he's doing. They hire Ryan Poles, fine. But what did they do before they hired Ryan Poles? They interviewed head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
They interviewed Eberflus before they even hired Ryan Poles. So they bring in Ryan Poles and then almost immediately hire Eberflus. So that seems like already an arranged marriage.
Yeah. Yep.
Already from the jump.
And Poles and Eberflus share an agent. And
share an agent, exactly.
Bill Polian has connections to where? Indy.
Indianapolis, yeah.
Where Flus came from. So it's that good old boy shit. It's the same shit over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And they dressed it up differently. And I heard somebody say something that was interesting to me. This was supposed to be the year where Justin didn't have any excuses. And I can't credit where I heard this, but it was so true. On paper, they did things that, okay, yeah, this looks better. Yeah, this looks better. They gave Justin no more excuses on paper. They didn't actually help him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got you DJ Moore. Hey, we drafted a right tackle. Hey, those are excuses on paper. Those don't actually help him. Eberflus and Getsy are clearly hindering him. I'm not like super thrilled with how Justin's been playing either, and I'm not thrilled with how he's been talking. But I really struggle to put it all on him. And because I know that there are coaches around the league that when they have a quarterback with a specific skill set, they cater the entire team around that.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to believe that Justin is any worse of a passer than Lamar or Jalen Hurts. I don't believe it. So
or Brock Purdy, like
yeah.
Oh my God, like
he's light years better than Brock Purdy. Like, you put him on the Niners,
yeah. And so, I mean, we go back with Justin Fields. Like coming out of Ohio State, Justin Fields was a passing quarterback who can run. He wasn't a running quarterback who, you know, I mean, now granted, in Ohio State, he had a 5-star offensive line. He had, you know, Chris Olave, who played for for the
Saints.
The Saints. He had Wilson.
Nice.
Yeah, he had Wilson, who plays for the Jets. Like he had weapons around him. But
Marvin Harrison Jr. was on that squad too. Still,
and so it was just like he had weapons around him. So it wasn't this thing where he's been always a running quarterback. But he gets to Chicago, and the passing aspect, which coming out of Ohio State, I really thought was gonna be, you know, like his strength, and it just has. So who do you blame for that? Who do you blame for that? You blame everybody. Everybody has a hand on why he has diminished as a passer.
Yeah, his you come into the league as a passer, but and obviously Justin had his faults, right? He was scouted as someone who held the ball for too damn long. Now, if you draft a quarterback and you know damn well that he holds the ball for too long, what should you do? You should give him an offensive line that's going to give him time.
Exactly.
You should give him wide receivers that are going to create space. They did not do that. And honestly, Ryan Poles, as much as I've like praised him for the things that he's done and certain moves that he's made, in terms of the trenches, and me and Dom spoke on it in the last episode, we thought, especially him being a former offensive lineman, he would have built this roster from the inside out, and he hasn't.
The
He's
first
built it from the outside in.
Okay.
And he's made a couple moves this year, but like signing or drafting Darnell Wright, he signed Nate Davis, who's going through his own stuff right now. But like,
can we control injuries? Because if we look at that offensive line on paper in the beginning of the season, you had Braxton Jones at left tackle, you had Jenkins at right guard, left guard. I'm sorry, Cody Whitehair at center. Who was your right guard? Nate Davis, who they signed in the offseason, and then you had the rookie from Tennessee.
But it took him a whole year to. He didn't do that till this past offseason. My point is, you should have literally taken all of your resources, all of them. I don't
You're
care.
Saying last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care if you spent all of your money on offensive line and had nothing else. If Justin has time to throw in the pocket, even if his wide receivers aren't that great, I would like to believe that he would have grown as a passer. So and then this you're gonna hire Matt Eberflus as your head coach, right? What scheme does he run? Cover 2. What's the most important position in a cover 2 defense? 3 technique. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You do nothing to build that defensive line.
You got the assets, you got the money, you got the picks. You could have,
They spent 2 second-round draft picks on Zach Pickens and Javon Dexter, and that's cool. But like Jalen Carter, you passed up on, and your excuse was culture. But look at your culture now.
Right.
There's clearly,
let's chill on that, right? Let's just stop that with football. Like, if it's the best player available, just get the best player.
My gosh.
I texted Eli that night on draft night. I was like, man, I would have taken Carter. And I saw red flags early on, and passing on Carter was one for me. I don't need choir boys. Are you the best football player? I'm more of a Al Davis, just win baby type of thing. And the rest that I saw was paying money where we did pay money in the offseason, 2 linebackers that, interestingly enough, the Philadelphia Eagles let go of JT Edwards, a Super Bowl team. They were like, yeah, we're cool. And the Bills let go of Tremaine Edmonds. They're a AFC Championship. They're a perennial playoff contender. That was very interesting to me that those 2 teams were like, yeah, you can have them. And and Poles jumped on it and paid them.
Yeah. Well, that's hard. I agree with him putting a bunch of money on 2 inside linebackers that have absolutely no help up front. What made them great is the fact that they had 2 bomb-ass defensive lines.
Yep, exactly.
That paved the way for them to make those tackles for loss, for them to move freely within the defense because they had dogs up front.
Yep.
But, I mean, the fact that the Eagles and Bills let them go, I think is a testament to the fact that they have 2 quarterbacks that are making a shitload of money. So it's hard for them to justify paying 2 linebackers.
But still, if you don't have that line, why are you paying
exactly these
linebackers?
And you got 2 quarterbacks that can cover up for let's say you have less than stellar linebackers on your defense. You have 2 quarterbacks that can mask. They can cover that up. That's not a problem for Philly or Buffalo. The Bears don't have that.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm sorry, like, it all comes back to the quarterback. This is a quarterback driven league. You look at all the teams that's having success right now, it's because 9 out of 10 times they just have really, really good quarterback play. Simple as that.
Yeah, and I've repeated this time and time again. And Bruce, I said this the year after his rookie year. I don't know if you remember me saying this, but it was when everyone was already calling him a bust after Matt Nagy year. People said he's not the guy. I said, listen, if Justin Fields fails in Chicago, it's because the Bears failed Justin, not the other way around. And I truly believe that. I think the Bears failed.
You sure you said
Justin.
that? I thought I said that because that was very great. So, but you can
Try
take
to
it.
take credit for that.
You said it. All right.
No, I said that. I said if Justin does not work out, it's because the Bears failed Justin, not Justin failing the Bears. And I mean, we talked about it in the beginning. Bruce, you mentioned it. The backwards thing. You draft him with Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, knowing damn well they have 1 year left, so he has to learn Matt Nagy's system for no damn reason.
Yeah, exactly.
His very first start is a microcosm of his Bears career.
It was the
Against
Cleveland start, right?
He was sacked 9 times, and Matt Nagy should have been fired right after that game.
Yeah.
But that was literally a microcosm for Justin Fields and how his career was going to go here. But the Bears are we all in agreement that the Bears are going to let Justin go? Like he's not going to be here next year.
I don't want to believe it because
I don't want to either. Dude, I'm literally staring at 2 rookie Justin Fields cards, a freaking Justin Fields bobblehead, and a freaking Justin Fields action figure in my damn basement.
Yo,
I don't want him to go either.
You went all out, man. Sheesh.
But
Bro,
okay,
I wanted it so bad.
What if because this was something that I was hoping for before. What if in previous regimes, and this goes back to who's calling the shots here. Is Kevin Warren, was he brought in to be able to make these calls?
Shit. Let's talk about Kevin Warren because the frick is that guy?
Right now, I'm wondering, does the buck stop with him? Because if the buck stops with him, I'm okay with Poles sticking around, I guess, because I think a lot of the things that came in were maybe Fluce's doing. I think some of these guys are more Fluce guys than Poles guys, and would it be the worst thing? I guess it depends on how the rest of the year goes, but
yeah.
I would just like to see Justin without a defensive coach, with a coach like a Brian Daboll. I don't know who's out there right now. Honestly, I haven't looked at the prospects. I've just been too, dejected to even consider next year. But, I think though, if you're that bad, then you have the capability of drafting Caleb Williams. Do you draft him? Do you, this is what's so frustrating, because once you start going into some of these questions, you get shot into so many different directions.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many problems,
Yep.
and it's just like your brain fries out, and it's like, you know what, just whatever.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Yeah. It's so frustrating.
No, that's yeah, man. That's why I'm at. I can't. I'm so big picture. I'm just not there. I'm not at the because
we talk about big picture though. Like, I'm not just going to sit here and go week by week. It's week 3. We're in a 13-game losing streak.
Bro,
I can't help but think about big picture.
We're not even supposed to be at this place right now, man.
I'm saying. That's why I literally titled this episode, It's Only Week 3.
Bro, like that's the crazy part about it. We're not even supposed to be here. It is supposed to be a week by week thing where we're looking at Justin Fields and we'll be like, okay, yeah, he put up 275 against Kansas City. That's dope, man. So how can we get back? We ain't even there, bro. We just like, nah, we need to shut this thing down. Should we restart it in the middle of a rebuild? We rebuilding in the middle of a rebuild. Got it. Yeah. Thank you, Chicago Bears.
I don't see how you could look at this regime and have them literally tell you, because they're basically telling you right now, we can't develop Justin Fields.
Yeah,
that's basically what they're telling you. Ryan Poles, like Dom said, he gave you DJ Moore, gave you a starting right tackle. Built a stacked running back room, which I haven't even seen Deontay Foreman in
right.
He was a healthy scratch.
where has he been?
Hey,
But we were supposed to have a stacked RB room and all of that. And Luke Getsy seems very firm on not running Justin and just sticking to and not moving the pocket. He did a little bit of a better job against Kansas City with that, but he seems very still.
The game plan was the same by and large.
yeah. Yep.
Aside from a couple scrambles, which Justin talked about playing more freely, and I don't know, whatever. I think this organization, this regime is telling you this super athletic quarterback who won a national championship with his arm at Ohio State, came into the league and ran for almost 1,100 yards. We can't develop that guy. Let's have the faith in us to draft another quarterback, one that we don't inherit, and let us run with that.
I can't, man. I can't.
Like how?
I can't. I have zero faith in Eberflus in particular. He looks lost. He seems overwhelmed, in over his skis. I really, really would be. That'd be a tough pill for me to swallow.
There's this unfortunate dark cloud that's over this organization right now, and where's the hope? You don't have it. You don't have it. You don't trust the upper management. You don't trust the coaches. You don't trust the players. Where's the hope? We don't. It's just not there. It's just not there, and that's unfortunate.
Paul said Poles needs to leave too. He's missed on just about everything he's done so far.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say he's missed. I
think it's hard to. I mean, he has missed on some. I mean, Jones bust.
Yeah. Well, his name is Valus. I wouldn't have drafted him with a name like Valus. You don't trust a brother named Valus? Come on, man.
That's an old ass. That's an
old name. That's an old pimp name.
But yeah, Valus was a definite bust. But I think with a lot of these moves, hindsight is 20/20 with these GMs, right? Like we can't completely judge their moves at, I would say, for at least 3 years.
Yeah.
Like that's the window where you can kind of look back and be like, okay, where's the fruit? Either there's fruit or there ain't no fruit.
Yeah.
After 3 years.
So, well, it goes back to Warren. Is he the man in charge? Because
that's going to be interesting. That's the $1 million question: is how much say does Kevin Warren have? Because he was brought in as the fresh face, right? Yeah, Ted Phillips, which, by the way, another ass backwards thing. You have a brand new regime that's a year into their new regime, and now you get a new president.
Yeah.
After you hired the coach and GM, right?
Exactly.
He came in after.
They just do, from a business standpoint. They just do everything so stupid, man.
And they have to answer to him, right? Theoretically.
Supposedly.
Wait, who are they answering to? Are they still answering to Phillips, or is it Kevin Warren? From a football perspective, you will want it to be Warren. I thought Ted Phillips was supposed to be the businessman. Like that's
Ted
why
Phillips is gone. He's retired.
Oh, he's
completely
not
away from the So it's either they're reporting to George.
Dang, I thought Ted Phillips was still around kicking it, making business decisions.
Or Kevin Warren. Well, but that is what's going to be interesting, especially if the season if we lose to the Broncos, who just gave up 70 points. If we lose to the freaking Broncos,
man,
and especially if it looks like this, where they look incompetent again, against the Broncos, if they make Russell Wilson look like Seattle Russell Wilson,
it's a scary thought. But with everything that's gone on, so do you? Let's take it back. So from the beginning of the season, we've had how many offensive linemen get hurt?
Two.
So right off the bat, we're switching positions. Tevin Jenkins, Cody Whitehair, Now
Left guard.
left guard. So that's right there, right off the bat. Then you have this whole talk about, Justin saying what he said in the press conference, calling out the coaches. He didn't really, but he kind of fumbled his words. He shouldn't have said it how he said it. I liked that he said it. I didn't like necessarily how he walked it back a little bit, but I texted with you. I was happy that he said it. But now you've got the national spotlight on the team. Then the whole thing with Alan Williams blows up, which is a whole nother distraction.
Yeah.
So now you have all of this stuff happening at once. Is it fair to judge Justin on this season? Looking at the tape, is it bad enough where it's like, look, whatever is going on, this is unacceptable. I know people that say it doesn't matter. What he's putting on tape is unacceptable. And then I know other people who are like, and I kind of fall into this category. I'm like, man, I feel like it's impossible. How would you expect him to succeed like this? There's so much noise. There's so much dysfunction.
Yeah.
I go ahead, B. I don't know.
No, I'm just, man, winning can just solve all of this, and that's the crazy thing about 13 games in a row going back. And then even adding some of the preseason losses, like it's just been a lot of losses, and I just think I just don't know where to start. You see what I'm saying? And I think
absolutely.
That's the hard thing about this organization, where going into this previous offseason, we felt like, okay, we're starting to see this. And I said it, like, they're starting to operate like a real football organization. And that's something that you haven't seen. But it's just like, man, Bears, y'all really made me eat my words, because it's just like we're back to square one, where it's just like, where do we start? And that's the hard thing about this team. It's just like, it's not just on-field play. It's so many off-the-field issues, Dom. Like you mentioned Alan Williams. Like, it just came out that dude was just doing some inappropriate stuff that HR had to get involved or whatever. And that and so it's just so much just drama.
And they try to blanket it with health and family issues.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like stop. And it's I just don't know where to start. I really don't. And that's the as a Bears fan, that's the frustrating thing with me, is like, where do we pinpoint this thing? Like, how can we say, okay, if we do this, then everything else will start to fall into place? And I know as fans, we want to say, well, fire this guy and fire that guy. We just did that a year and a half ago. We just did exactly what us as fans wanted. We fired the old people, brought some new people in, but we're still in the same place. So please, Bears fans, help us. Where do we start at? That's my biggest question.
Yeah. And you said, go ahead, E.
No, I was just gonna try to answer your question that you asked about Justin. Like, at the beginning of the season, I did say that there are no excuses. There are no more excuses for Justin. He needs to
I did too.
Put up or shut up. He needs to put up or shut up. And with all the distractions, it's almost like we're back at, like, how can you judge him? How can you judge him? But he's playing so poorly.
Yeah.
He's regressed so much that it's hard to justify it. It's hard to still be like, okay, we have all these distractions. That's why Justin has regressed to, and like, I'm willing to bet, and I'm not suggesting that they do this, but I'm willing to bet they put in Tyson Bagent. He plays better right now.
I agree, because a lot of times there's that, like, the backup superhero mentality where you put in that other quarterback and just for whatever reason it just clicks.
And again, I'm not suggesting that the Bears do this. I do not want them to do this. I want Justin to ride this out and you see if he can improve. But he has been so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
I start to think, I get from the vibe from him that he's going to ask out. Like, it seems like he's already checked out. That's the vibe I get from him.
Man, and I had this thought, and I think I mentioned it on a really old podcast episode back in after his first year under Nagy. I I had this thought like, man, if the Bears don't figure this out with Justin, he's going to request the trade because it was around that same time that or it was a year after like the Russell Wilson trade, and then the whole Aaron Rodgers stuff started like boiling up, and I was like, damn, like I really hope Justin doesn't get to that point eventually. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he came out, and especially after this season, and let's say the Bears do clean house and Justin, and they decide to keep Justin for another year, and Justin's like, nah, I don't want to be here another year. I don't want to go through a whole nother offense with the same team and have to deal with this again. But if I have to learn another offense, send me somewhere else. And
That's how you kill a quarterback. Just change OC, change OCs, change OCs.
Jay Cutler.
Well, and that's the thing where, like, did we not just see this in 2019 with Mitch? And I know I'm the resident Mitch lover, but like, look, we got in 2019. In 2018, he looked like a halfway decent quarterback on an upward trajectory. 2019 came around and it was like, yo, what happened? Like, he's terrible. And it was like, it didn't make any sense. It was like, it was so confusing. But I think when you have all this outside noise, when you zap a guy of his confidence that he has used his entire life, and you take that away from him, and you take what makes him great away from him, then he's left just standing out there on an island. And that's kind of what it seems like with Justin. And it's like, I defended Mitch for it, and I feel like I have to defend Justin for it, because I just think that there's so much going on that it's tough to, man, it's really hard for me to blame him. But I did see their numbers side by side. It's alarming. So it's hard for me not to blame the coaches, blame the line, blame this, blame that. And Bruce, like you said, winning cures all. But man, what if they do win a few games and then we get stuck with this regime again?
Yeah.
That would be like catastrophic. I'm okay with having Justin again. I don't want Eberflus for another week.
Let me ask you guys this: what is our issue with Luke Getsy? Because last year, wasn't we kind of just like, we were on the Luke Getsy bandwagon? He took what was a struggling offense and with Justin Fields, and he kind of centered everything around Justin, where they did more running, they did more RPOs and things of that nature. What happened? Why are we so against him? Like, now, has he regressed? Has he regressed as an OC?
I don't think so. I mean, my personal belief, I think Justin doesn't want to run, because that's the only thing. Last year, we turned the key. We figured out how to make this offense go. More zone run, more from the more moving of the pocket. Getsy did it already. Like, he already did this last year. The offense looked different. He called different types of plays. This is like a regression, like a stubborn Matt Nagy regression, where it's just like, dude, it's so simple what you need to do, and you just won't. We saw Getsy do it. And now the only thing that I can think of is Justin is like, man, I don't want to run like that. Because at the end of last year, I think it was the Lions game, like, he had to bust out like a 50-yard run, and it literally looked like he was about to cry. Like, he was just
his legs gave out. You could just tell. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my theory.
Pocket quarter. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to answer your question. So I think last year, why so many fans, I don't want to say fell in love with Luke Getsy, but like felt kind of refreshed, was because we were just coming off a Matt Nagy era where he was so damn stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
To see that Trubisky was not going to be a typical pocket passer. You had to simplify things. You had to cater the offense to him, and Matt Nagy refused to do that. So you bring in Luke Getsy. He wanted something to work with Justin the first 4 weeks. It didn't. Justin looked terrible. And he did exactly what we all wanted Matt Nagy to do with Trubisky, and that was he adjusted the offense. Things looked great. But now he's, again, I just think right now, Luke Getsy, his offense is not creative. It's very bland. It's very vanilla. It's very predictable. Paul said it in the comments. He said the horizontal passing game, and he's extremely predictable. The screens are crazy ridiculous. I mean, he brought in Velus Jones against who did we play Wake to? Wow. Tampa. You brought in Velus Jones for a jet sweep. I saw it coming. As soon as I saw Velus Jones in the huddle, I was like, oh, this is going to be some kind of gadget play. And there you go. Jet sweep, and Tampa saw it coming all day. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is. And it's like, is it the chicken? Did the chicken come before the egg? Like, is him not reading the field and not hitting open guys kind of, holding Luke Getsy back in his play calls and kind of making him try to oversimplify this offense to the point where it's so vanilla and so predictable? Or is it Luke Getsy with his play calls? It's like, which one is it?
For years, it was the quarterback. The quarterback, it's the quarterback. He's the problem. The offense is limited because of him. So if we're going to keep that same energy, that's what's happening here. I unfortunately don't believe that, because I've watched enough of the tape breakdown from guys that I trust saying, like, look, these aren't normal football plays. Like, you got two receivers running posts at the same exact place in the same area. You got guys that, they had Komet go around Darnell Wright and, like, stop him from actually getting, a proper stance. And it just, the offense to me seems like he got hit in the head or something in the offseason and, like, forgot how to do things. That's what it looks like. The only thing I can think of is Justin has said, I don't want to do that.
Shout out to my young bro EJ. He playing Division II football. When my son first started football, he told me, he said, B, tell your son that football is 90% mental and 10% physical. And as I look at, now I want to equate this to, like, just these NFL teams, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say that the Bears don't have talent, because they have the talent.
They do.
But you look at the wide. I mean, we were excited about that wide receiver group, the running back group, certain pieces on the offensive line. We was excited about Justin Fields. I just feel like it's just more mental with these cats now. Like, it's because and I think it's even more mental with the coaching staff as well, with Luke, because when it just goes back to 13 games in a row we've lost. That's a lot of losing. And at some point, it starts to mess with your mental psyche. Because I'm sorry, and I'm not going to look, I think everybody had the Bears losing that game yesterday. Did we have them losing? I didn't personally think they was going to lose 41-10. I didn't think they were going to be down 34-0. I mean, Kansas City could have easily put up Miami numbers yesterday if they
took
wanted
out Pat
to.
in the middle of the third quarter.
In the middle of the third quarter, like, come on, they could have put up 80 if they wanted to.
Hell yeah.
But I just think it's so mental with this team now, where I truly believe, and if I was a fly in that locker room, I truly believe they go into these games now expecting to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I just truly believe that. And you don't want to say that about an NFL team. You really don't. But, it takes that one special player to change the culture of a team. I look at the Houston Texans yesterday, and they have CJ Stroud, who, by the way, I'm a huge fan of. I hate Ohio State, but CJ Stroud he was, like, amazing. And I'm seeing what he's doing in Houston right now, and he's changing the culture. Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, he changed the culture of Jacksonville. Tua over in Miami. I mean, you put him and the coach and Tariq, he's changing that culture. Who do the Bears have that can actually change the culture of this organization? I thought it was Justin Fields, but I don't know anymore.
It's not. And that was something that a lot of Chicago Bears beat reporters were speaking on during training camp. And they even talked about, Justin even talked about it. The defense talked about it. I don't know if you guys remember, there was one day in training camp where, the defense won. They had, like, a bunch of picks on Justin or whatever. And they were talking about how the defense was, like, flying around and every time they would make a play, they would celebrate and get hype, and the offense, their energy was just low.
Yeah.
And you heard that all training camp was how the offense, like, they just didn't have any energy. And you see it playing out now. This whole team doesn't have any energy. Now the defense seems to be on the field all damn day. So of course they're not going to carry that energetic, flying around style that they had in training camp. But and I don't know who to put that on. Is that on Justin? He's the captain. He's the leader of that offense. He doesn't seem like a guy who's, you know, fiery or is gonna, try to rally the troops and I'm not questioning Justin as a leader. I think he's a great leader, but he's not that fiery. I want to run through a brick wall for this dude right now type.
Yeah.
You don't see him on the sideline. And I remember the very first pregame speech I heard him give. I was like, that was not good. And I just kind of chalked it up to being a young kid. It's not the biggest deal in the moment, but now looking back on it and seeing on the sideline, what do you see Justin do on the sideline more often than not? He's slouched back, staring off. He's not up in people's face. He's not barking at people. He's doing this. And I think that
from the camera's perspective that we see, yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen it enough through 2 years now where I'm just pretty sure that that's kind of his vibe. And you can be a good leader, like you said, and be a lead by example type guy and be a little bit more mellow. And, there's plenty of guys. You see it in the sports documentaries. It's like, yeah, he didn't talk much, but when he did, everybody listens. You can be one of those guys. And yeah. So, I don't completely write him off, but there were a couple of speeches that I heard him give where I was just like, yikes, that was rough. But I don't necessarily think that maybe the offense can be a reflection of the quarterback, but the team is a reflection of the head coach. And Eberflus to me I blame him the most out of anybody. And I know people want to blame Getsy, but I blame Flus the most. He's either like a toothless tiger, paper tiger, whatever it's called. Nobody listens to him. He does his rah-rah speech, and everybody's like, man, this fucking guy, shut up. That's the vibe that I get.
He's another guy that you never see get animated on the sideline. I don't ever see him. I was watching the Giants game, and I was watching Brian Dable just he was lighting the ref up.
He was livid, yes.
Threw his headset down. That's what I want. I want Eberflus to do that. And I know that sounds super meathead and
it's not. It's football. It's football.
It does sound super meathead because I don't think you need that to be good. Yeah, but at this point,
you need something.
13, lost 13 in a row, and not just. It'd be one thing if this Chicago Bears team competed in those 3 games that they lost. Like Justin looked good, the defense was flying around. There was a couple plays here and there, maybe a bad call here and there that didn't go their way, and now we're 0-3. But no, you have regressed as a team.
Yeah.
Your defense is worse, and you added pieces. Your offense is worse, and you added pieces.
Yeah.
The defense is pathetic. It's horrible.
Yeah. No pass rushers. You need. I mean, it's a the key positions in football: defensive end, cornerback on defense, offensive line. Left tackle, quarterback. You got those key positions in football. The Bears, unfortunately, we don't have pass rushers, and that's you got everybody but the Bears putting up numbers, and in order to combat that, you need some defensive ends. So we didn't address that, and that's showing. That's showing. It's a reflection on everybody else. It's a reflection on your linebackers. It's a reflection on, your secondary. When you don't got those guys that's going after the quarterback, or in a 3-4 technique, if you don't got that defensive tackle that's a stud, it's gonna show.
Yeah, shout out to Matt Bowen. If you know who Matt Bowen is, he's a former NFL player who breaks down X's and O's all the time on social media. He's a lot like JT O'Sullivan, but Matt Bowen talks. He's a former safety, so he'll break down defenses and stuff. But I follow him on Twitter. He tweeted something, a stat. He said the Bears have defensively, they have the highest zone coverage rate in the league. It's 73.6%. We run zone the most. We only have 1 sack to show for it, 9 total QB hits, and a pressure rate of 19.6%, which is dead last.
Even the broadcasters yesterday, and I think it was, I don't know who it was, I couldn't pick it out, but he said, well, after 31 points, Eberflus finally went to playing some man. Took him long enough. But I think when you're in that 4-3 Tampa 2 defense without a 3 technique, and in my personal opinion, I don't like 4-3. I think it's too soft, it's too easy, unless you have Hall of Famers at every position.
You need to have dogs up front. That's the only way this scheme works, is if you have at least 2 dogs up front.
Yep.
It's the only way it works. And you don't have one. You don't have one. You do not have one. But I mean, we just talked about Matt Nagy and his stubbornness to change up his offense. Why can't we do the same thing with defensive coaches? Like, you cannot stick to this soft zone coverage crap. No matter what you got to do to change it, do it. Like,
it can't be worse. So, like, it can't get worse.
Something. Blitz more. I don't know.
Yeah, something, man. Something. Like, I don't understand why you're just so, like, you want to die on the cover 2 hill that got Lovie Smith fired. Lovie Smith went 10-6 in his last season that he got fired. But why did we fire him? Because the dude had no idea how to run an offense. He was not in the offensive meeting rooms. He had no idea. And his defense was outdated. That's why he got fired. And that's what's going to get Eberflus fired.
Yeah.
We're doing this again.
It's unbelievable.
Doing this again. Well. I'm trying to think.
10 games.
You guys have anything else to add? Any other points you guys want to make?
They have.
You could. That's the problem. We could go on for days. We could be sitting here for days, and it's just like I said. Once you start in this direction, that branches you off into this direction, and then you branch off into this direction. There's so much wrong. It's just like, you know.
Do you guys think that the season can be salvaged?
I don't. I don't believe in Matt Eberflus. I completely.
I asked the question earlier. Yeah, I asked the question, where's the hope? And I don't see it. Guys, do you know this is just the 4th game of the season? This not even like week 10. We ain't even at a bye week yet. This is the 4th game of the season, and we're already talking about the lack of hope. We just don't see Eberflus getting, like, it's gonna be a very long season. You guys play fantasy football? Anybody play fantasy football? Here.
I'm not into it.
I don't.
Well, it's gonna be a long season.
Season, guys. I was talking to my buddy
too.
No, but I was talking to my buddy. There's a universe in which we could be 0-3 right now, and I wouldn't feel this way. Like there is definitely a universe where it's like like kind of you said it a couple minutes ago where it's just like, you know, that first game against the Packers. Let's just say we had a heartbreaker, and it was like, oh, there's some rookie mistake on defense cost a drive. That's 0-1. Tampa, kind of same thing happens, or maybe a tip ball at the end, a bad call, like you said. And then this past game, nobody thought we were going to win this, and maybe we give up 35, but we put up 28, and Justin has a 300-yard game, and we're moving in that direction. Yeah. And then Eberflus's speeches with we're just going to keep pushing, blah blah blah, block out the outside noise. Then those kind of make sense.
You believe
you know what?
A little bit.
They're there. They're
right.
This is still early in a rebuild. That is not what this has been.
Oh man, that's a good point.
And the fact that he's still trying to preach this like positive, we're trying to find the silver lining in these games. Like,
yeah,
it's unbelievable.
You can't.
How are you not pissed off?
Show
some emotion.
Yeah, I don't want to keep talking about another football. Dom just made a great point. I don't want to keep mentioning other football teams, but and it's unfortunate because he's another Ohio State quarterback. CJ Stroud in Houston, like that. You made a good point because they're not going to go to the playoffs. They're not going to win the Super Bowl, but it's just like,
and they're 1-2. You know
what? Yeah, and they weren't supposed to beat Jacksonville.
No, they weren't
yesterday. And that kid went out there. He's a rookie. He in 3 games, he's passed over 900 yards. I think he has the most yards amongst any first 3 games, something crazy stat they put out there. And there's this now belief in Houston and with the Texas organization that's just like, you know what? And you had players come out and say, like, that's our guy. We made the right choice. So like Dom said, they're 1-2. They're not going anywhere, but you believe you have that hope. And it's just like with this Bears team, it's unfortunate. We just don't have that. And that's the thing that bothers me. I'm okay with this still being the rebuild. It was almost like, and just to kind of get off football, but it was almost like the Cubs team last year, right? Where it was just like, yeah, we knew they're back in the rebuild. They had to trade off the Anthony Rizzos, the Javier Baez's. They had to trade those guys off, and so they have to rebuild the farm system, and so you got to go through this losing season. But there was this hope that, man, but they're doing the right things, and then you come into this season and they add these little pieces, and you're just like, but we see the light at the end of the tunnel, and now they're pushing for a playoff hunt. With this Bears team, it's like I don't see it. I don't see it. You guys are making these moves, but man, are we just making these moves as a mask to just cover up something that nobody else sees? And this is why we're in this position right now. So it's just that lack of just like, where's the bright spot? Where's the positive? Where's the positive? Who's the one? Man, is it our kicker? He's had the best freaking season of any player that's on the Bears team is our kicker. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know. Who is our kicker? What's his name? Santos?
Cairo Santos.
It's still Santos. Okay, yeah. He made a field goal yesterday. And he's like, oh, he's 4 for 4 for the season. Oh, he hasn't missed.
Yeah, best player on the team.
Best player on the team.
Pro Bowl
kicker. Typical Bears.
Why is it that anytime we're terrible, we have a great kicker?
We have a great kicker.
We're good. Yep. We have
Cody Parkey,
double doink.
Yeah.
I watched that game with Bruce, by the way, Dom, and
you called it.
I blame him.
You called it. Yeah,
I blame Bruce.
Remember
that.
Oh man. Yeah, we could probably go another hour talking about this team, but we won't do that. Man, trying to think. Any other points? I think we're good. We will.
None. This was great. I needed this.
Yeah,
I needed this. Now I can watch the game Sunday and just
Jesus Christ.
Don't know what to expect.
Yeah. Loss.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't expect to win. And I don't. Honestly, are we rooting for the tank? Are we at that point? Are we rooting
I think
for,
once
you don't have to root.
Once you get to
happen.
Once you get to 0-4, though, that's when you can start rooting for the team. You don't come back from 0-4 or 0-5. I really hate that Justin said, I don't know if you guys know, but the Lions started 1-6 last year. I hated that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that at all.
They were scoring so many points, even in
difference.
Those losses.
Right.
And they were in all of those games. It was like they were like 1-score games, those games that they lost.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I'm not there yet. I'm not rooting for the tank yet, but I'm about 2 weeks away from it.
Yeah, nice. I don't have to root. It's gonna happen. we'll be back.
2 top 5 picks is all that we can get out of this. Wow.
Yeah,
and
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that person to just say, "Oh, well, somehow we'll screw that up too." I'm to have 2. Okay, we thinking too far here. Let's stop. I'm gonna stop. Because then I'm gonna give y'all the whole draft board. Marvin Harrison Jr. He's. Let me stop.
Oh man, Drake May, Caleb Williams. You have your pick.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
How about we don't draft another number 10 from North Carolina?
Oof.
Yeah,
that's Drake May.
That would be nice.
Yeah, he's nice too, but he'll mess up in Chicago.
I didn't know Drake May was number 10 at North Carolina. So I was always like, man, let's not do that.
No.
And I'm the biggest Mitch fan in the world.
Yeah, and people talk about, Ohio State QBs don't succeed in the NFL. But yes, let's draft Drake May, another UNC
North
quarterback.
Carolina. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining the show. And by you guys, I mean Bruce and Dom. Bruce, it was nice to have you on again, bro.
Yo, that was
Yeah,
fun,
it's nice
man.
to
That was fun.
nice to have you on.
Dom,
Likewise,
it was a great last minute addition that you texted me while the show was going, and I was like, let's do it. Let's get
Yeah.
the 3-headed monster going. Might as well.
Yeah.
Coming in from out of town, I saw that you guys were live, and I was like, man, I can still make this.
That's
I
what's
can
up,
do
man.
it.
That's what's up.
Yeah, this was great. But before we go, we're gonna end the show how we usually do, with the segment that we like to call a Rec of the Week. I hope you guys have a rec. Hope you guys have
I
one,
got
Bruce.
one for you.
Bruce, I hope you remember.
You see me scrolling on my phone, like, okay, hold on, give me 1 second. Y'all go first. Y'all go first.
Here's my rec. Don't
yeah.
watch the Bears.
Right.
That's my rec of the week.
It's a great rec. Great rec. But no, for real, Dom, I'll have you go first. I'll go second, and to give Bruce some time, I'll let him go last. But Dom, what's your rec of the week?
That was my rec. Don't watch the Bears.
Oh,
Don't watch
okay.
the
That was for real, your rec. All right.
Oh man.
Okay. Well, I'm next. So there's a documentary on HBO, and it is called BS High, and it is about the I already forgot the name of the school, but you guys remember the college that dude made up?
Yes. I
And-
saw that. Yep.
And I even forgot the dude's name, but
Yeah.
it is such a good documentary.
It
That
was.
dude they made him look like a piece of trash,
Yep.
and he kind of is.
What was the name of that? Bishop Sycamore.
Sycamore.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why that okay, BS High. That makes sense.
Yep.
But I thought BS was literally standing for bullshit. But
Well,
Bishop
I mean,
Sycamore,
you watched the doc. Yeah.
yeah. It's such a good documentary on HBO. If you don't know the backstory, it's basically this dude who made up a high school
Mm-hmm.
just out of the blue and didn't even have an actual school. He just wanted to make a football team first before the school.
Yeah.
And basically got a bunch of kids who like dropped out of high school or kicked out of high school or were too old to be in high school, started a football team and like tried to make it work. And it just, part of it's crazy. You're like, this dude is insane, but you hear the story. They also bring on some of the kids that went through some of that stuff, and some of the stuff that those kids went through is heartbreaking. They were sold a bill of goods that didn't exist, and it's a really good documentary. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
Sounds good.
BS High on HBO Max, or it's not HBO Max, just Max, right? It's not HBO Max anymore.
Yeah, they just change all the streaming stuff now.
Stupid. But yeah, it's on Max. BS High. Highly recommend.
Nice. Sounds good.
B, what you got?
Yo, I'm gonna just kind of stick with football here. If you're a huge college football fan like I am, tune in this Saturday, 11 o'clock Central Time, Fox Sports. You got USC versus Colorado. Now, everybody know Colorado, what Deion Sanders has done with that program, but what I'm interested in is the quarterbacks for each team. Of course, USC has Caleb Williams projected #1 pick, but man, was I sleep on Shedeur Sanders, Deion's son. He played at Jackson State for a few years, and the Jackson State, the competition that they play is at HBCU. They play a lot of HBCU schools. They're talented, but not on the level of these Division I players. But I've watched every Colorado game this week, and probably outside of last week, they played Oregon. Oregon is a juggernaut. But outside of that, like Shedeur Sanders, he's the real deal. He'll go that first day in the NFL draft when he decides to come out either this year or next. I'm excited about that matchup. Caleb Williams versus Shedeur Sanders. I know it's a team game and whatnot, but if you're into quarterback play, if you're into numbers, 300-400 yards putting up fights, I mean, just tune into this game. What Deion Sanders is doing to this Colorado program, they're not there yet, but you see the impact that he's having on this Colorado program. He gets a lot of hate for how he does it, but
he's always gotten that hate, bro.
But the one thing that I love about Deion Sanders, it's not a black thing or a white. It's not that. It's what I see, the way he loves his players. Like he invests in his players, and it's not just about football. We have to understand that football is a business, especially college football. It is turned into a huge business. But what he's done to this Colorado program, who won one game last year, and now every game this year, like there's this hope that they're going to win. And we talked about the hope thing earlier, right? So with all that said, this Saturday, USC, who I believe is a top 10 team, I think they're number 6 or 7 in the country. Colorado, who's 3-1 this year, they have a very good program. 11 o'clock Fox. Tune into that. That's going to be a good one.
Isn't USC supposed to just wipe the floor with Colorado?
If this was last year, yeah. But the thing about USC is they have an amazing offense, but they can't stop a nosebleed. And so go ahead, Dom. I'm sorry.
And Colorado, like you said, they were a 1-win team last year, and this year there was they were already 3-0. They were ranked. Like it was. Yeah.
They just fell out of the rankings
really impressive.
Yeah, and they had like everybody transferred to Colorado. I transferred. I think I went. I
was just about to say how many new kids does he have in that program?
We all transferred to Colorado. It seemed like So
it's gonna be a good one. He told everybody to hit the transfer portal.
Yeah. Like hold on. Michael Irvin does not have any more playing time in him. He can't come play for your program, Deion. Sorry.
Oh man. All right, some good stuff. Thank you everybody for watching. If you did, thank you to those who listened. If you are listening to our podcast, go ahead and give us a rating and a review. It just helps us out a lot. 5 stars. Give us a nice little whisper sweet nut things, as me and Don like to say. In the review, we'd appreciate it. It just does something with the algorithm that just puts us out there, and it takes not even 15 seconds to do it. So if you do that for us, we appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be able to jump on the mics at some point this week to discuss this game against the Denver Broncos. Should be a great one. The battle between the 2 worst teams in the league, basically. But thank you guys. Appreciate it. And until next time.
Peace.
Peace out.